After nationwide outrage, the Noida police has issued a statement with regards to the manhandling of Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. This was during a scuffle at the DND flyway on Saturday while she was on her way to meet the Hathras gang rape victims' family. The police in their statement has said that they regret what happened to the Congress leader. Taking suo motu cognizance, the DCP has ordered an inquiry into the matter. In a tweet, the Noida police assured that a senior lady officer will investigate this matter. Remember, on Saturday, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra was pushed, she was manhandled when she came to the rescue of a party worker who was being lathi-charged by the Uttar Pradesh police. And also, as we track the latest updates on the Hathras story, there's a lot of politics that's broken out. The Samajwadi Party and RLD workers clashed with the police in Hathras as they tried meeting the victim's family. Bhim Army Chief Chandrasekhar Azad also met the victim's kin and claimed that the family was living in fear. The BJP, meanwhile, has hit out at the Congress and questioned its silence over rape cases in Rajasthan.
Uttar Pradesh police cracking down on Samajwadi Party workers who staged protests in Hathras, violating curbs under Section 144 and COVID protocols. While party chief Akhilesh Yadav stayed away, an SP delegation met the murder victim's kin.
ये प्रशासन तो बलि का बकरा बनाया जा रहा, असली जिम्मेदार तो लखनऊ में बैठे लोग हैं। और आप CDR चेक करा लीजिए इन अधिकारियों की, दूध का दूध पानी का पानी हो जाएगा। कुल योगी आदित्यनाथ जी को इस समय उत्तर प्रदेश के चलाने का हक खो चुके हैं, लोगों को न्याय नहीं दे रहे, अन्याय और अत्याचार जहां तक हो सकता है वहां तक उनकी सरकार में हो रहा है।
RLD leader Jayant Chaudhary lashed out at the Yogi government after cops began raining lathis on party workers while he was addressing media.
सवाल उत्तर प्रदेश का है, सवाल यहाँ की न्याय व्यवस्था का है। सवाल यह है कि जहाँ हमें एक ऐसी सरकार चाहिए जिस पे लोग विश्वास कर पाए और जो कानून के प्रति भावना और विश्वास को बढ़ा सके, यहाँ एनकाउंटर पुलिस को खड़े करने वाली आज सरकार है।
Bhim Army Chief Chandrasekhar Azad's car was also stopped en route Hathras, following which he began marching on foot toward the victim's house.
हमारा परिवार यहाँ सुरक्षित नहीं है। मैं सरकार से परिवार के लिए वाइड श्रेणी सुरक्षा की मांग करता हूँ।
The Congress hit back at the Yogi Adityanath government, with Priyanka Gandhi Vadra questioning the move to order a CBI investigation when the family instead is seeking a judicial probe. The Congress also questioned inaction against the Hathras district magistrate accused of intimidation by the victim's family.
जो अपराध करता है उसके खिलाफ कुछ नहीं होता और जो मारा जाता है, कुचला जाता है, दबाया जाता है, उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होती है।
The inaction against DM has also made the IPS Association unhappy. Former top cops are questioning the Yogi Adityanath government.
अधिकारी ADM, SDM तो स्वयं मौजूद थे, तो ये कहना कि केवल SP ने अपने लेवल पर सारे डिसीजंस ले लिए और DM की कोई नहीं सुनी या DM को कुछ पता ही नहीं है, मेरी जानकारी ये है कि इसमें मुख्य भूमिका जिलाधिकारी की रही है और उन्होंने ही इस प्रकार के अफलातूनी निर्णय लिए।
Bharatiya Janata Party, however, sharpened its counter-attack, calling Gandhi's meeting with the family as a photo opportunity, questioning why the Gandhis are silent on a spate of rapes in Rajasthan.
वे लोग देश में भी और प्रदेश में भी दंगा, जातीय दंगा भड़काना चाहते हैं, सांप्रदायिक दंगा भड़काना चाहते हैं। इस दंगे की आड़ में विकास रुकेगा, इस दंगे की आड़ में उनकी रोटियां सेकने के लिए उनको अवसर मिलेगा, इसलिए वे नित नए षड्यंत्र करते रहते हैं।
A family in shatters struggles to pick up the broken pieces. Even as voices grow louder to sack the DM, political parties allege that the DM was only acting at the behest of his political masters and a thorough investigation will only reveal the truth. With video journalist Shakil Ahmed, this is Mosmi Singh in Hathras for India Today.
Moving on to other stories, it's been 2 days since the AIIMS team in its report clearly termed Sushant Singh Rajput's death as a case of suicide. Unhappy with the AIIMS findings, Sushant's family has demanded now that a new forensic team be set up to probe the late actor's death. Sushant's family lawyer Vikas Singh will meet with CBI Director Rishi Kumar Shukla today in the capital, requesting him to constitute a fresh forensic team. Sushant's family lawyer has termed the AIIMS report as unsettling and raised questions on how the panel gave a conclusive report in the absence of a body, even when the postmortem done by Cooper Hospital was shoddy and didn't mention the time of death. Remember, the AIIMS panel head Dr. Sudhir Gupta, who is analysing Sushant's viscera report for the last 3 weeks, has ruled out the murder theory and termed it a clear case of suicide. And India Today also spoke to AIIMS panelist expert who examined SSR's viscera report. The panelist said that Cooper Hospital did follow all the norms and denied claims of any foul play in Sushant Singh Rajput's autopsy report. The panelist even said that there were no traces of poison in the viscera.
A senior forensic scientist involved in the CBI's probe into Sushant Singh Rajput's case. You have heard him on India Today, revealing there is no evidence to support accusations that the actor was murdered.
पर गला नहीं घोटा गया, उसको लटकाया तो है, ये तो है कि लटका है, क्योंकि लटकने के निशान अलग आ जाते हैं, वो लटकने वाले निशान। फॉल प्ले कुछ नहीं है, अभी तक तो निकल गया। अब कोर्ट में साबित भी तो करोगे, थोड़ी किसी को ऐसे कह दो मर्डर है। अब खाली यूँ कह दो कि मर्डर, हाँ जी मर्डर है, तो वो तो मीडिया वाले मर्डर गाए जा रहे हैं।
India Today has reached out to another expert who also visited Rajput's apartment. Dr. Adarsh Kumar from Delhi's AIIMS. He's part of the panel from the hospital's Forensic Medicine and Toxicology department that re-evaluated the star's post-mortem and viscera reports. In his conversation with India Today's special investigation team, he admitted that the AIIMS panel found no glaring holes in the post-mortem report prepared by Mumbai's Cooper Hospital. Remember, the Mumbai police declared Rajput's death as suicide by hanging on June 14th itself, the day his body was found hanging from his Mount Blanc apartment at Bandra.
Cooper Hospital ने तो clear cut hanging का केस दिया हुआ है इन्होंने। आप लोग agree कर रहे हैं उनसे? देख रहे हैं, हमें अभी तक तो कोई ऐसा बहुत कोई डिस्टिंक्ट कोई ऐसा कुछ नहीं मिला कि जिसको कि हम उस पर क्वेश्चन मार्क करें कि नहीं। एवरीथिंग इज कोरिलेटिंग। ओके, अब वो ओवर एंड अबव क्या है, क्या क्या शॉर्ट कमिंग्स हो सकती हैं, तो विल सी। तो आप दोबारा जाने वाले हैं? नहीं, जाने का कोई मतलब नहीं। कोई मतलब नहीं, दोबारा किस लिए जाएंगे? कर लिया हमने जो था हमारा, तो हो गया सारा। हमारी तरफ से तो कुछ नहीं, चैप्टर क्लोज है। इसमें भी आपने कह दिया ना पॉइजनिंग वॉइजनिंग नहीं है कुछ भी, तो हमने थोड़ी कहा है, तो एफएसएल बॉम्बे वालों ने कहा है। अग्री कर रहे हैं उनसे बेसिकली कि उनका तरीका सही था। वो तो
सर आप लोग रिक्रिएशन के लिए सर गए थे वहाँ। हाँ। तो क्या वहाँ पे मतलब कि वो हैंगिंग खुद से कर सकता था? बेड और वॉल की जगह पे इतना जगह थी?
आराम से, उसमें कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं है।
सेल्फ हैंगिंग
वो तो मोस्ट लाइकली।
Official sources already confirmed India Today that the AIIMS panel in its report to the CBI has ruled out death by poisoning. In another meeting, Dr. Adarsh Kumar acknowledged that the Mumbai hospital, leaving aside minor issues, largely followed set procedures in conducting Rajput's autopsy.
बट उन पे एलिगेशन तो लगा कि पोस्टमार्टम उन्होंने सही से नहीं किया है।
एलिगेशन, दैट इज एलिगेशन। एलिगेशन का ये मतलब नहीं ना सच हो गया। जांच तो हम यही इसी एंगल पे की है ना हमने। अच्छा। जो एलिगेशन है कि वो सही है कि गलत। लोगों को जो दिखता है कि अरे इतना ब्लंडर कैसे कर दिया, बट आप जब देखते हो, एक्चुअली जब आप उनके सिस्टम को देखते हो तो लगता है अरे भाई उन्होंने तो जो उनके यहाँ फॉलो हो रहा है वही तो किया है। अगर उनके यहाँ फॉलो हो रहा होता और नहीं करते देन इट इज ब्लंडर। या पर्पसली कुछ गलत करते तब लड़ने हैं। जब वो सिस्टम ही नहीं उनके यहाँ, then it is not effective।
जो एक फॉलो रूल है,
जो सेट पैटर्न है वही उन्होंने फॉलो किया। अब ये अलग बात है कि वो पैटर्न बाकी लोगों को हजम नहीं हो रहा है, क्योंकि सिस्टम बाकी जगह बाय एंड लार्ज डिफरेंट है।
According to Dr. Adarsh Kumar, no major lapses were found in Rajput's autopsy report.
तो बेसिकली SSR वाले में सर कुछ मिला नहीं आप लोगों को? जी, नथिंग।
All eyes are now on CBI for its final conclusion in this high-profile investigation. With Mohammad Hizbullah and Milan Sharma for India Today's Special Investigation Team.
And it's day 2 of Rahul Gandhi-led tractor rally protests in Punjab against the Modi government with the contentious farm laws. At around 11 a.m, Rahul will be welcomed by farmers at Sangrur's Barnala Chowk, followed by a public meeting in Bhavanigarh, that's at 12 p.m. Rahul's tractor rally will then leave for Samana, where he is scheduled to address a public meeting at around 4 p.m. En route Samana, Rahul will also visit the Fatehgarh, Channa and Bhavana area. Meanwhile, the first day of the protest was, remember, filled with scathing attacks on the centre as Congress sign labelled Modi government as a puppet of corporates, even claiming that if voted to power, Congress would revoke these farm reforms. Congress's protest rally will conclude tomorrow in Patiala, from where the Congress MP will leave for Haryana's Devigarh. Manohar Lal Khattar's government has already made it clear that Rahul is not welcome in Haryana and alleged that Congress is misleading farmers. Rahul is planning a massive face-off with the state government tomorrow. And let's get you also all of the highlights of Rahul Gandhi's anti-farm law protest in Punjab, along with Chief Minister Amrinder Singh and Navjot Singh Sidhu. Rahul referred to the Modi government as a puppet of Adani and Ambani and promised, as I mentioned earlier, to revoke these reforms if voted to power. The Congress is also planning mega agitations in Haryana besides Punjab.
After Beti Bachao, it's Kheti Bachao Yatra for Rahul Gandhi, upping the ante against the Narendra Modi government in Punjab. The Gandhi scion promised to repeal the new farm reform laws once Congress is back in power.
कांग्रेस पार्टी का हर कार्यकर्ता पंजाब के हरियाणा के बाकी स्टेट्स के किसानों के साथ खड़ा है। हम एक इंच पीछे नहीं हटने वाले हैं और मैं आपको स्टेट से कह रहा हूं, जैसे ही कांग्रेस पार्टी की सरकार आएगी, इन तीनों कानूनों को हम फाड़ के फेंकेंगे।
Rahul didn't stop there. He also termed the Narendra Modi government a puppet in the hands of large corporates.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी चाहते हैं कि किसान की जमीन, किसान का पूरा धन, किसान का अनाज अंबानी और अदानी जैसे लोग कम से कम दाम में।
One of the sharpest critics of the new law, Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh too joined the rally, along with the bitter rival Navjot Singh Sidhu. Both leaders sharing stage after 14 months.
Rahul Gandhi is speaking to Punjab Congress Chief Sunil Jakhar, and on the extreme right, Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh is sitting. Rahul Gandhi has termed that all these central farm laws are anti-farmer and people should oppose them.
A big face-off with the Haryana government is next on Rahul's plan on Tuesday. The Congress MP will attempt to enter Haryana from Devigarh along with the protesters. The Khattar government has vowed to block the rally, slammed lies by Rahul Gandhi to mislead farmers.
ये जो विषय है ये भी दूर की बात नहीं है, बहुत जल्दी सब सामान्य होने वाला। किसान समझ गया है कि बरगला रहे हैं, इन किसानों ने उनको बरगला करके और कहीं आड़तियों को बहकाना, कहीं किसान को बहकाना, कहीं मिलर को बहकाना।
राहुल गांधी जी वो व्यक्ति है जिनको कृषि के क के बारे में भी नहीं पता। जब वो पंजाब में ही आए तो आप लोगों के साथियों से एक बार उनसे ये 3 सवाल पूछवा लीजिए, ये जो 3 ऑर्डिनेंसेस बिल में कन्वर्ट हुए हैं, इसके अंदर क्या-क्या चीजें इन्वॉल्व हैं और इसका फायदा और नुकसान क्या।
Haryana BJP took a jibe at Rahul Gandhi, asking him to bring along brother-in-law Robert Vadra. who's accused of grabbing farmlands.
MSP पे खरीद होएगी और आगे भी होती रहेगी और मंडी भी नहीं में चलेंगी। बस कांग्रेस का झूठ नहीं बिकने देंगे क्योंकि कांग्रेस के लोग इस पर भ्रम फैला रहे हैं। रॉबर्ट बडोरा को भी ले आए, हमारे किले जो दबा रखे हैं 9,000 एकड़ जो अंबानी को हुड्डा साहब ने दिलाए थे वह भी ले आऊं, वे किले उल्टे दिवा दे।
Rahul, who had quit as Congress chief after 2019 Lok Sabha poll debacle, now hopes to hitch a ride back on Farm Bill and Hathras protests. Will he succeed in relaunching himself yet again? Bureau Report, India Today.
And as winter nears, Delhi Chief Minister Kejriwal will be launching an anti-pollution campaign today. The Chief Minister will be chairing a meeting with ministers and top officials from the Environment Department, the Public Works Department as well as the local MCD body. Traffic Police and Transport Department officials will also be present at this meeting that will happen at 11 a.m. An action plan is likely to be announced after the meeting. Delhi Health Minister Gopal Rai tweeted saying a centre has been set up in Najafgarh where biodecomposer solutions will be prepared. The meeting comes at a time when stubble burning has already begun in parts of Punjab and Haryana, raising fears of a spike in pollution levels in Delhi's air. The national capital is up against a dual challenge this time. Any spike in pollution levels could prove detrimental to COVID patients who are suffering from breathing issues. Let's get you the latest political updates from the state of Bihar, where BJP's Central Executive Committee held a meeting last evening. The meeting was presided by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and BJP President JP Nadda. The 3-hour-long meeting was aimed to strategize BJP's stance in the Bihar elections. Remember, Ramvilas Paswan's Lok Jan Shakti party has decided to go solo, ditching the BJP. LJP has confirmed that they won't fight elections under the leadership of Nitish Kumar and will pit its candidates against Nitish Kumar's JDU party, citing ideological differences. However, they've not severed their ties with the BJP and will support BJP in a post-poll scenario. Nitish's party, meanwhile, will be contesting elections of 122 seats. This is with 5 to 7 seats being given to Jitan Ram Manjhi's Hindustani Awani Morcha. BJP, on the other hand, will be fielding candidates on 121 seats. In the state of Maharashtra, restaurants will be reopening from today under Unlock 5.0. Both restaurants and bars will reopen across the state with 50% capacity. This move comes after nearly 7 months of lockdown. The Maharashtra government has issued standard operating procedures. Eateries will have to check the temperature of all customers at the entrance, and only those who do not have any symptoms will be allowed to enter the restaurant premises. Hand sanitizers should be placed at different areas in these restaurants. Customers will have to wear masks at all times, will have to maintain social distancing, so will the employees. A minimum distance of a meter should be maintained between tables. The establishment should also be sanitized twice a day. Maharashtra currently is the worst hit state in the country with over 1.4 million cases. Chennai Super Kings have returned to winning ways, thrashing Kings 11 Punjab by 10 wickets. You had Shane Watson, Faf du Plessis. It was their show for Chennai, chasing 179. The duo provided a solid start and stayed till the end. Shane Warne returned to form while Faf continued his fine show with the bat. Watson scored an unbeaten 83 and Faf du Plessis finished with 87 not out as Chennai chased down the total in 17.4 overs. Chennai now have 2 wins in 5 games while Punjab suffered their 4th loss in 5 matches.